You're watching the Community MMA.
A little bit this morning, and we'll kick it off with Bernard saying, "No way, Terrence McKinney destroys Ismail Bonfim," and that's what I'm taking a chance on because Bonfim's coming in with a lot of hype, but I just don't see it happen. I think Terrence McKinney's a knockout specialist. If it goes to the ground, it could be trouble. But if I'm McKinney, I'm coming into this fight like he did against Matt Frevola in 7 seconds. I'm trying to overwhelm Bonfim in his UFC debut, I believe, and go ahead and try to finish this thing early while the guy's a little nervous. Chad Board says Imavov will defeat Strickland. Strickland has nothing. We'll see. Steve Robinson, I believe. So let me get this straight. Dana White's wife smacks him for whatever reason, and he returns the smack, and people women want this man to step down. Yeah, so Dana White did the press conference, kind of like sort of like an apology tour, but he's saying his punishment is being Dana White, having to deal with this for the rest of his life. And I'm in agreement with him. We're always quick to want to punish someone. I mean, we want somebody punished. It's a personal matter. Just because we all saw it on video does not mean we can interject ourselves and say, this is what should happen. I mean, we can, but the bottom line is these companies are going to do what they want. And the fact is, this is going to be a stigma on Dana White's name for the rest of his life. And that's worse than any punishment you can have. So I'm in agreement with Dana White on that. I mean, it is what it is. SY says this is literally insane. I'm convinced that fighter pay issues and Dana being not nice to media sometimes, and also Dana's own comments on women in his past is part of the insane overreaction. Now, I'll be honest with you. I'm surprised there isn't more of a reaction. If his wife didn't land the first blow, this would be crazy because it's a tough situation. I don't want to say for women, for that movement, right? Because you want to say and jump all over Dana White, but you also got to be careful because he got hit first. At the same time, just because we're living in this social environment that's constantly changing right now, as we've seen over the past 20, 30 years, and you go all the way back to the 1800s at the beginning of the women's rights movement and things of that nature, but you just can't hit a woman. I mean, and we can't change from that just because everything else around us is changing. The fact is, you don't hit a woman, you take the smack, and you deal with it. Or behind closed doors, you have a good conversation about it. Because there is something about being a man, and when your woman smacks you in public, it's like a demeaning thing, especially when you're around your boys and all that type of stuff. So Dana White was not right to return a blow, but there's a lot of factors in that situation. I'm sure he wasn't thinking clearly. And another comment says, and all these people that claim a dude can never touch a woman, how many of them are going to call police if a woman assaults them? They are human adults. They need to be held accountable for assault. And then even if you get some of these people to admit they should be arrested instead of smacked back, now you need to worry about half these cops being biased against you. Yeah, so it's like, imagine Dana. First of all, Dana White and his wife have been married nearly 30 years. So she smacks him. He's not calling the cops. It's a family matter. Everybody wants to get the cops involved nowadays. And if the cops come, it's very likely that Dana White could have took one across the face, called the cops, if that's what he wanted to do, and he's probably still getting arrested. So he doesn't really have much of an angle here, but it could have been handled much different. Hopefully we all agree on that. If any of you out there think that it's okay to hit a woman, you're absolutely insane. I'm just telling you. It's not. So these are the things that are going on. Kenneth Bruner back says, best way to refresh the MMA news cycle, announce a Hamza versus Pereira title fight for March, then announce John Jones versus Ngannou. Nobody will focus on the nonsense anymore. Let's go GOAT. Or Wolf, excuse me. Let's go Wolf. Hamza Chimaev the Wolf. Yeah, and that's exactly right. You know, if I'm Dana White and company, I'm trying to make huge announcements right now, but in fact, that's not happening. And it just goes to show you how tough it is to set up both of these. I mean, Hamza against anybody is very tough. And then even tougher is John Jones versus Ngannou. And what is going on with the heavyweight division? I mean, how long can Ngannou just sit there and not fight? I mean, it's crazy to me that they allow this to happen. You should have to fight every 6 months unless you are injured. And I know Ngannou was dealing with an injury and he was recovering, but it's been over a year, man. He last fought Cyril Gane this time last year, so it's been right about a year. And even if they set up a fight now, it's going to be 4 to 6 months out. So you're looking at a year and a half. He's just sitting on the title. To me, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. They got to get this division going. It gets my blood pressure going when I even think about the heavyweight division. Because John Jones hasn't fought in years. And Ngannou hasn't fought in a year. Both of these guys are always making demands for more money, yet they never fight. And Ngannou could fight 2 or 3 times a year and be making bank. But he's going to spend the whole year trying to get the same amount he would get for the 2 or 3 other fights. Plus, you're getting points on those pay-per-views. That's what people don't realize. He's getting his base pay plus, say he fights 3 times a year, he's getting his base pay plus hopefully winning those 3 fights, so he doubles his pay. Then you're getting points on the pay-per-view. He's wasting a lot of time as champion right now when he could be getting paid. And he should be doing what like Anad Asanya does. Fight the number 2, fight the number 3, fight the number 5, beat them all. Maybe then fight John Jones later. Force John Jones into the mix for who cares how much money John Jones is getting. Focus on your payday and fighting 2 or 3 times a year, getting the win bonus and the points on the pay-per-view. But, it is what it is. You can't tell that to these fighters. They want to argue for 2 years over one big payday. And I get it, but why not take 5 or 6 paydays that are probably more than that one when you combine it up?